Any reason you get to wear your Elvis glasses, you gotta go with it, baby. Okay, so if I said to you, Hustlers, what would you think? Jennifer Lopez, probably. Now, about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe it's a bit longer than that, time flies when you're having fun, a movie called Hustlers came out. Originally called The Pawn Shop Chronicles, General Lee's, even though at the start of this movie, Hustlers comes down as an amazing title, like flopping title thing they fit on the carpet. So Hustlers, Brendan Fraser, Elijah Wood, Vincent DeFongio, I always get his name wrong, the creepy guy from The Cell. He was a guy, Sex Pest, and Jennifer Lopez in there, so there's a bit of a connection. Thomas Jane, Lucas Haas, Norman Reedus, with Matt Damon and Paul Walker. This came out just after Paul Walker's unfortunate death. From the director of Cooler and Run the Scared. Run the Scared also starred Paul Walker. Right, so this essentially is 3 movies together. Fans of Sin City, fans of Pulp Fiction. It's got that thing going down for it. Doesn't really tell you that at the start. Mainly takes place as the pawn shop opens, and one by one some stories evolve. First there's a shotgun, then there's the ring maybes, and then it's the medallion, and you can follow these things. Now all the stories, you see dribs and drabs, but as I say, Brendan Fraser, one of the main stars, Paul Walker is one of them, as well as Matt Dillon. I say Matt Damon before, one of the two. And the stories, they don't really always cross over, it just seems to all happen within a day. Now, the new review Rant Randoms, I try not to spoil them. When I get the outtakes, I spoil the fuck out of them, but in the meantime, I'm not going to try and spoil it. The cast alone for this is the reason I picked it up. Plus, I'm a sucker for a slipcase. Since the day I've bought that, I've never seen it like out to buy. I think everyone has great times in this. It is quirky, it is offbeat. It's one you put on and go, right, at the end of it, right. And I mean, it's been about 3 or 4 years since I've seen it. I watched it with Brit and she was really into it. She liked it. Brit hasn't seen Pulp Fiction. We're getting there. But again, this is kind of like, it's that whole, like, the free story in a nutshell, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like, it's well done. As I say, the title sequence for its name change is really done. It has got some funny stuff as well. There's a really funny bit about why the guy doesn't like watching black men in porn, and I was watching that going, what the fuck? And his reason for it I found quite funny when you think, like, it's just that shop banter, you know what I mean? It was quite, there's some very quirky bits in this, there's some very graphic bits, there is definitely some what the fuck bits in it we'll talk about in the outtakes. Elijah Wood, going off his bit of creepiness with Sin City, dials in the creepiness as well. Brendan Fraser, you know, he's really offbeat as well. I think no one dials us in, everyone gives a good performance. But yeah, it's a little bit fucking weird. And without spoiling too much before the outtakes, if you're a fan of Paul Walker, check it out, because I think Paul Walker is phenomenal in this. And as I say, there's some absolutely mental stuff, especially with Paul Walker's trying to like talk to his friend about why they are, well, I don't know, it's never really said if they're in the Ku Klux Klan or the Nazi gangs. They said they're all talking about going to the meetings. Again, it's all setting down in the Texas area, so yeah, it's definitely off the beat. It's definitely got a dark sense of humour in it, but it is an enjoyable watch. But again, I don't think it really warns you that's what you're in for, but we'll see you in the outtakes for that. Right, here in the outtakes. So in the outtakes, you can totally spoil it, right? So when you see it, it's all come full circle. It is quite funny. Little things why that happened exactly, while Paul Walker and his mates scream their heads off of the fucking near car crash, to later find out why they had a near car crash. The bit what really steals it, I mean, Brendan Fraser, just like, oh, see, the whole thing about Brendan Fraser making a deal with the devil and then Thomas Jane turning up and is Thomas Jane like an angel of death. You know, he's got the tattoos on the arms, gives the guy the shotgun, and the kid goes off, and then it took us ages to remember it's a kid from Mars Attacks, and Thomas Jane just disappears. Elijah Wood, I think, steals the show. Like, the reason why he's like sitting there masturbating, and he gets the fish hooks, and at this point, Brittany was like, and he get his sissy, and it gives him subtitles, and it's like kind of like quite quirky and funny on that one, and then from the hit with a fucking hammer, in the TV, and you think, fuck my life. But then the idea that he keeps all these women in cages, and then the fact that earlier on in the movie, Paul Walker, who's always scratching himself because he smoked some meth 3 days before that, is just like zombie women, and his mates are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then later on you see just this army of zombie women crossing over him. I was like, what the fuck's going on there? And it's just quirky, and then like Elijah Wood's not being dead as well. One of the things you can really fault the movie is when Matt Dillon finds his wife and they're in the car crash and she's sort of deadpanning the camera, right? She's dead, but she's just breathing all the time. Is she alright? She's just in shock, and like she's still breathing, and it's just like fuck. But it is quite quirky in bits. I mean, it all comes back to the shop, like it's the medallion, it's the ring. They're all nice little short stories. The middle story does go on a bit longer. And as I say, it's kind of like, you know, Paul Walker's demise of hiding in the cupboard later on going, right, and the fireworks going off again. It comes all full circle. So yeah, definitely check out Hustlers. There's weird gimmicks about masks. Elvis. If you want to see Brendan Fraser as Elvis, check it out. He's no Christian Slater, that's for sure. Right, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.